Yo, what's up, guys? So today is going to be a little bit of a different video than I usually do. It's kind of slow right now. I mean, tomorrow we're going to get, the big stuff, and that's really what we're looking forward to. But I'm in the community. I've been playing this game since the first year it came out, and I have been before me starting this YouTube channel. I have been a long time consumer of Dokkan content. I'd watch everyone who makes a content, DaTruth, Goresh, Nanogenics, all those people, Diddy, all of them. I'd watch them all because I really do like the game. And for the longest time, I didn't feel I could make content on it. And so now I want to make content, right? And a lot of them motivated me to do so. But another thing I want to talk about is sort of their takes. A lot of time I feel, and mostly in like DaTruth videos, because the others, they don't really get into this sort of drama on a YouTube sense. They kind of stick to Twitter, now X. And so I feel like a lot of times the community is not fully represented. In my opinion, no hate to DaTruth. I think he's a great guy. I love his videos. But sometimes he'll make videos like the one he made today talking about the dual DOKKANFEST banner, which I do want to discuss as well, where it kind of just feels like he's a little out of touch with more of the overall player base. In my opinion, and I could be wrong about this, and if I am, trust me, let me know. Most players in this game are free to play. Like 98% of people are free to play, or like dolphins, people who spend maybe like, yeah, here's $10 every occasionally. You're going to get just like, it's a really good sale. Why not? Let me throw a little bit of money. That's where I sit, right? Occasionally, I work a job, and if I have a little extra money and, anniversaries around and they have that one banner where you get like 50 stones for like $3 or whatever it is, like, I feel like that's not a bad deal. And if you really like the game, I say go for it. But I feel like in some cases, these higher echelon of Dokkan players, maybe the wrong word to use, just people who, the most popular YouTube creators, they are all, at a point where they will have every unit rainbow. They will have all this, all that. Like, they get everything that they like. It's not a question of, am I going to get the new unit? It's okay. Let me just hurry up and get the new unit. Right. And so I feel like sometimes that can cloud judgment and sort of what is seen as the most important, or just kind of like what is good, what is bad, blah, blah, blah. And everyone's free to their own opinion. I'm not saying that his opinion is wrong in any way. I think everyone has a right opinion in the debate, and multiple debates that happen throughout the community. Right. I'm not saying like, oh yeah, he's so out of touch, he's wrong, what an idiot. Not at all. But, watching this video and going through, Twitter itself, going through the thread, things that maybe he didn't talk about, stuff like that, I think it's, you could see that a lot. It was interesting that a lot of sort of the, other YouTubers agreed, oh, this does suck. But a lot of the average player either had a slight agreement because of the coins, or didn't care, which I think is also a more common thing than people realize, or they just straight up disagreed, right? I mean, you usually make these videos if the community is in disagreement with you. And so I kind of want to just go quickly over sort of what I feel is more of the points of many people, at least the points I have, and kind of have just a more like a way to express it more. I feel like people leaving these comments, right? When people leave a little, Twitter has a limit. You can't do all you want on a thing, right? You can leave a little bit, but you're not having a one-on-one discussion with, DaTruth. You're not sitting down and actually debating with him. And so a lot of times you might write something and he could take it wrong, and well, there was your one chance at doing it, right? At showing your point. And so I went through a lot of them, what I feel, a lot of these comments and how I felt, and I thought I kind of wanted to just discuss it. Okay. So I'll make it quick. I don't have too many points. The main point I think to make about carnival banners in general, just the main, here it is that it does not matter, carnival or yellow coin. It does not matter what it is. The most important part is hype and marketing. I think a lot of people will stick that, oh, it was so much more hype, the old banners. They were so much more, the community had so much more hype compared to the 8th anniversary where the banners weren't Carnival and Dokkan, Carnival and Dokkan. And I think that's a bad comparison because the worldwide last year had hype units, right? Metal Cooler and Goku and Vegeta are, I would say, a lot hyper, a lot more hype than Kid Gohan and Goku, just a base Goku. The choice of unit really will affect how hype something is. If you swap these, if you made Kid, Gohan was, if you swap the way the celebrations were done, I feel like people would be like, oh, the Carnival format was kind of a dud. It wasn't that good because it's the hype of the unit. In the end of the day, it doesn't matter Carnival or Yellow Coin LR. It's the hype of the unit. And on top of that, also the marketing. That worldwide with Cooler and Goku was insanely marketed. The marketing was insane. They had the rap, which is something they just started doing. Like it's all in the marketing and hype. That is what's going to determine how good part 2 is, right? I don't think anyone was, like, oh yeah, I'm really hyped for part 2 now from the worldwide because it's a Dokkan Fest. That's what's hyping me, right? Like you weren't like, oh, I'm so hyped because it's a Dokkan Fest. That's what's getting me going. That's not what was leading you to be hyped. It was, oh, let's see the part 2. They're hyping it up so much from the promotional material. They're giving us so much, like they were so interactive in terms of marketing for it. It was like, how could you not be excited for it? The carnivals too, if they're meant to be sort of on equal to the Dokkan Fest, so it doesn't matter if you're doing double Dokkan Fest and double Carnival because theoretically you're doing 4 characters who should all equally be on the same plane. It's all marketing. If part 2 of this worldwide that we're in is Spirit of Hope, the Sword of Hope Trunks and a Goku Black, then I think it's going to be insanely hype. And I don't see why people would just be like, oh, Goku Black dropped, whatever, I'm bored. I don't care. It just doesn't make sense. It's the unit. So in that sense, it doesn't matter if they do a Carnival or it doesn't matter if they do a Yellow Coin or who cares? Pick good units for the big celebrations. That's what matters. Another thing that I, could see was that a lot of people, a lot of free-to-play players, it does take hype away when you are told, okay, only summon for the Dokkan Fest in part 1. Ignore the next one. This guy who's great. These two are both great. These guys were both insane. Hold on though. You don't want to summon because it's a terrible banner, right? It's basically just a Yellow Coin banner. That's all they did. They just jazzed up a Yellow Coin banner with a better unit. Said, wait, hold on, just go for Cooler, then wait, hold on to your stones. Now go through this whole part 1, right? You're seeing all the hype of Goku. Well, you can't use them anyways, don't worry. But don't worry, part 2 is going to be insane. You're going to love the Dokkan Fest of part 2 is going to blow us out the water, so take a little hit right now. Reasonable. And then we get to part 2, and you read the details, and what'd you get? 2 worse units. Both the Carnival and the Dokkan Fest were worse than the main 2. And that really sucked because you went through all of part 1 waiting for nothing. It was basically just a yellow. It was a redo of just you basically got 2 Yellow Coins right here. Part 1 of this celebration, it was said Carnival, but it was basically 2 Dokkan Fests because that's how good the units were. They were Dokkan Fest level units. And then part 2, well, the units were not as good. They just weren't. And that really hurt because you waited through all of part 1 for worse units. And if they just did the same exact thing, if you had just slapped Dokkan Fest on Goku there and slapped Carnival on Goku and Vegeta, the banner would have felt the exact same. And so a lot of free-to-play players don't like to do that. Like they don't want to wait throughout the entire celebration for what could be the better unit. Now with this celebration just shows, oh, it might not be the better unit. Just hold out hope though. A lot of people like to have just both Dokkan Fests. A lot of free-to-play players can only pull one of them anyways. You can only pull one. And so it's nice to see both of them right in front of your face. Which one do I like more? Which one do I want to go for more? That helps out so much for free-to-play players. Maybe it's not as hype for part 2, but a lot of players don't summon for part 2. A lot of free-to-play players aren't summoning for part 2. A lot of players in general, I find, looking around the community, people who are returning to the game or people who just like to see for the big celebrations, right? Me for Legends, I jumped in for Legends Anniversary, but I was only there for the first banners and then I left because I want to play Dokkan more. I'm not interested in Legends. That's fine. I think that's Legends player coming to Dokkan. They probably do the exact same thing and that's okay. But a lot of these players only summon in the part 1 banners. They're only here for the main hype, the main shit. And so it's nice when you have 2 DOKKANFEST banners right there. Those are like the main things. It's the fact that I fully believe they can make Carnival work, but the way that it seems that Dokkan has decided that part 1 will always be better than part 2, there's not much you can do about that. There really isn't. Like, you cannot make Carnival work, but also stick to the fact that we want part 2 to be better than part 1. Or we want part 1 to be better than part 2. My apologies. We want part 2 to be worse character-wise, right? And if that's what they're going to do, they have to do DOKKANFests. That's the only, because that's just going to help out the player base. Like, the free-to-play players, that is what they care about, the DOKKANFests. This year, they're going to do 2 carnivals, most likely, for part 2. And I bet you that if they carry the same amount of marketing and hype and all that to part 2, people are going to care about the part 2 LRs. It's not going to, I don't think anyone is like, oh, Rose, he's not a DOKKANFest. Well, I don't care anymore. You know what I mean? I feel like that's idiotic to think. Like, it's the unit, it's going to be the unit. And you see that in a lot of people. A lot of these comments, I looked at these. A lot of people, hype. It's just hype. Dual DOKKANFest is hype. You want your unit to be DOKKANFest. Another sort of thing I thought about was, oh, well, yellow coins are worse leads and carnivals are better leads, which is reasonable. But I also feel, what stops them from just making a yellow coin a good lead? Like, you could just make a yellow coin. The yellow coin during this Dokkan festival is a good lead now. There you go. Like, it's not hard to do that. It doesn't have to be a whole new unit. I'm not going to talk about the coins because I think everyone agrees that the coins are a bad idea. I'm not going to sit on the coins, which everyone knows unanimously is not good. But you could easily make a unit good. You can easily make the unit good. And the other part that was upsetting was you then made 4 banners, right? The old format with yellow coins was there was 3 banners. So if you really wanted one of the new LRs and you didn't care, the part 2 LRs, you didn't care which one, then it was even better because you could then maybe pull one of either one. You only had to summon on 1 banner. This felt like an excuse to skip it into 4 banners. Now we have 4 banners. Now you got to do, now if you really want a part 2, you really got to pick which one. And that, I think, was a bigger hit to free-to-play players than anyone else, right? That's, again, what I'm saying, that there's a little bit of a detach. Free-to-play players think so heavily with their stones and what they're going to do, and when you split into 4 banners from 3, that heavily affects how they view it and how much money or how much stones they can really use here, where people at the top, like DaTruth, Nano, Diddy, all these people, they're going to rainbow them anyways. I'm not, at least for DaTruth, he's going to rainbow them anyways. It doesn't matter how many banners are. There could be 17 banners. They're all getting rainbowed. It does not matter. They're all getting rainbowed. But for a free-to-play player, that matters. How many banners matters. So that was another big hit to the format, right? We're stuck in that format now, so sitting on that doesn't matter. We're going to get Carnival, part 2 carnivals. At this point, that's a thing of the past. We're no longer going to get 1 banner that has both LRs. So I feel like sitting on that point does not do anything. Because I could have only seen them just making 2 yellow coin banners. Like, it doesn't matter. That's mainly the points I want to make. Mainly, it's just a discussion. I have no ill will to anyone who agrees with that the carnivals were better. I personally think the carnivals can work. I just think that they're not doing them right. They aren't doing them good. That's the problem, I think, ultimately, is they aren't doing the carnivals good. They're not thinking or smartly doing what you should do for the carnivals. So that's my issue with it. But I think that they could do them well. They just aren't. But that's just my point of view. I don't spend that much money on this game at all. I don't have many units, even with 1 dupe in them. So I can sort of see the complaints that some people might have who are in a similar boat compared to people who have everything that they need. Right. That's the video. I just wanted to have a, part of the discussion. I love this discussion. I love discussing Dokkan Battle. That's one of my favorite things to do. And I'll probably make more videos like this where I can put my opinion out. You know what? If only 3 people see it, that's fine. I don't care. I like to talk about it and, really see the discussion. I like to see discussion. I had a blast reading through all these comments. I like reading people who agree. I like reading people who don't agree. I like seeing how the community feels about something. It's great. I think that communication is so healthy for the community. So that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, talk about it, debate. I love it. I would love anyone who disagrees with me. I want to hear it. I like that. I like that talk. I like that debate. I like that discussion over Dokkan. But that'll be the end of it. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I hope you guys are happy with the dual DOKKANFEST. I hope that, by the end of the celebration, it's good, and everyone is very happy. Everyone got what they wanted. Everyone, probably not likely, but you get what I'm saying. So I will see you guys all later. Have a good one. Peace out.